Okay, let's be real for a second. Have you ever felt like you're just running on empty? I mean, completely exhausted in a way that a good night's sleep just doesn't seem to fix? Well, you are so not alone. There's this collective feeling that the constant push for more productivity, has left us all feeling totally drained. So today we're going to dive into this growing rebellion against hustle culture and really understand the alternative that's emerging. This movement towards something people are calling the soft life.
It so often starts with this kind of confusion, right? You ask yourself, is this burnout? Is it chronic stress? Or maybe it's something hormonal, like perimenopause. The truth is, these things are almost always tangled together. Your body just feels harder to read, and your ability to handle stress is at an all-time low. They're not in separate little boxes. They all feed into each other.
For years, we were all sold this very specific dream. Just work harder, push longer, and you'll get everything you want. Hustle culture made the grind seem glorious. It promised that if we just sacrificed enough, we'd find all this fulfillment. But for so many of us, that promise just rang hollow. And what's left behind? It's like this massive cultural hangover.
And this really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? The whole equation we were given was just flawed. Grinding yourself into the ground doesn't magically guarantee peace or happiness. In fact, more often than not, it leads to the total opposite, a state of complete burnout, where your nervous system and, honestly, your soul just feel completely depleted.
So, people are starting to ask this question more and more, and it signals a huge cultural shift. I mean, think about it. The pandemic forced a major re-evaluation of what's important. Mental health awareness is finally getting the spotlight it deserves, and people are starting to reject those old, outdated markers of success. They're looking for something more sustainable. They're looking for well-being.
Now, to really get why this is all happening, we need to look at our own biology. It's so important to understand that burnout isn't just a feeling. It's not just being tired. It is a real physiological state. Your hormones aren't just static things. They are constantly reacting to the world you live in, and chronic stress just sends them into total overdrive.
Okay, so let's meet the main character in this biological story, cortisol. We need it, for sure. It's designed for short-term fight or flight moments, but our modern lives, they can keep that switch flipped on all the time. And when cortisol is chronically high, it just wreaks havoc. It disrupts everything from your sleep to your metabolism and really sets the stage for major hormonal imbalances. And this is where things get really tricky, because this whole process can quickly spin into a vicious cycle. So chronic stress raises your cortisol. That high cortisol can then lead to insulin resistance, which is a hallmark of conditions like PCOS. This then causes symptoms, weight gain, hormonal chaos, which, you guessed it, create even more stress. And the cycle just keeps feeding itself, digging you deeper and deeper into burnout. And on top of that biological cycle, there's often a psychological one reinforcing it. A lot of us operate from this place of hyper-independence, this deep-down belief that we have to do every single thing ourselves. And look, this isn't some kind of personality flaw. It's often a trauma response that we learned as kids. It's a defense mechanism that keeps us from asking for help, which of course just fuels the very burnout we're so desperate to escape.
So if grinding harder isn't the answer, what is? Well, it's not about swinging to the complete opposite extreme and just avoiding all responsibility. That just leads to stagnation and feeling stuck. A true soft life, a sustainable one, actually requires this really delicate but powerful balance of both structure and softness. Which brings us to the whole point of reclaiming what soft life actually means, because there are a lot of misconceptions out there. It's not about being lazy. It's not about magical thinking. It's actually a really powerful and intentional way of living that puts your well-being first without giving up on discipline or growth or doing meaningful work. So let's get really clear on what we're talking about here. A soft life is about building smart systems that make your life easier over time. It is about learning how to regulate your nervous system. What it is not is avoiding responsibility or refusing all discipline or just waiting around for motivation to strike. It's proactive, not passive. And to really embrace this, we have to let go of some of these common myths. The truth is, a soft life is built. It's not wished for. It requires you to show up for yourself, even on the days you don't feel inspired. And discipline, it isn't harsh. Actually, consistency is one of the kindest things you can do for your future self. Okay, so how do we actually build it? I like to think of the soft life as a supportive container, and that container is built on 5 core pillars. This is the framework that helps turn the whole idea into a daily reality. So here they are. First, energy-first living. That just means you stop treating yourself like a machine with an infinite battery. Second, gentle discipline, because following through is a form of self-kindness. Third, emotional maturity. That's about actually processing your feelings instead of just pushing them down. Fourth, thoughtful systems, to reduce that constant decision fatigue. And finally, slow, meaningful growth, which is all about detaching from that frantic sense of urgency. And these pillars, they translate into real everyday habits you can start right now. For example, instead of just managing your time, start managing your energy. What restores you? What drains you? Try creating rituals that feel supportive, not like rigid, suffocating routines. And practice saying no as a complete sentence. Your peace really depends on it. When you get right down to it, this whole approach isn't about making your life smaller to try and avoid challenges. No, it's about building your internal capacity, your energy, your resilience, a regulated nervous system so that you can handle your life with so much more grace and way less depletion. And this focus on building capacity, it's not just some individual self-help journey. When we zoom out, we can see that this shift towards a soft life is actually part of a quiet revolution, a huge collective reevaluation of what we value as a society. And honestly, the stakes are incredibly high. And I mean, the stakes are physical. Look at this number, a nearly 145% increase in dangerous visceral fat for women with PCOS compared to their peers. This shows you exactly how chronic stress and hormonal imbalance directly hammer the body. This isn't just about feeling tired, you guys. This is a health crisis. And the solutions? They're not just individual either. Research is showing us that healing really happens in community. The most effective support is relational, it's culturally aware, and it's built on mutual care. All the things that mainstream systems often fail to provide, but that so many grassroots organizations are creating. Which leads us to this really powerful idea. Well-being is political. Why? Think about it. The ability to rest, to care for yourself, to opt out of systems that are literally designed to deplete you, that's not a privilege everyone has access to. Pushing back against burnout culture is a political act. It challenges the very structures that decide whose time and whose energy are valuable. So I want to leave you with this reframe. The goal isn't just to escape or to figure out how to do less. The real question, the more powerful question is, how can I live better? With systems that actually support you, with boundaries that protect you, and with a deeper trust in yourself. Because softness isn't weakness, it's profound wisdom. And maybe, just maybe, it's the key to a much more